Writing a college application essay is tough, but if you can come up with a good concept, you're halfway there.
Mr. Greenberg! Mr. Greenberg!
What is it, student me?
But that's the problem. I have absolutely no idea what I want to write about.
Believe it or not, that's a common problem. The Common Application gives students the freedom to write about pretty much anything. But that freedom can become a burden because if you can write about anything, then what are you supposed to write about? For those of you who are new around here, I'm Nathan Greenberg, founder of Ivy League Mentors, and for the past 15 years, I've worked as a college application coach, helping students get into some of the most competitive universities in the world. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 brainstorming strategies that I've used to help my students come up with winning topics. So if you're applying to college and feeling stuck, watch the rest of this video. I'm confident that the strategies I'm about to share will help you become unstuck and write an incredible essay, one that will get you into the college of your dreams. And make sure to stick around until the end, because I'll be saving my favorite for last. Strategy 1. Work backwards. If you're having trouble coming up with a good topic, it might be easier to think about the big picture and work backwards from that. Remember that an effective essay is going to communicate your best qualities to the admissions readers. So instead of trying to determine what your essay is going to be about, ask yourself what you wanted to reveal about you. Obviously, you won't be able to convey your entire identity, so you'll need to focus on a few factors that you think are most important to emphasize. Maybe you want to show that you're a creative type, who is always developing innovative solutions to problems in your life. Or maybe you want to show that you're someone with a lot of grit, the type of person who perseveres even in the face of adversity. And once you've established that, you can find your topic by working backwards and thinking about experiences from your life that would demonstrate the qualities you're hoping to convey. Strategy 2. The Scattershot Approach. Instead of trying to come up with one topic, try to come up with 10.
Mr. Greenberg! Mr. Greenberg!
What is it, student me?
Isn't that harder?
Well, it might seem that way, but not necessarily. Because if you approach the brainstorming session with the mindset that you need to come up with one perfect topic, you might feel so intimidated that you freeze up. So instead of striving for the perfect topic, a lot of students find it easier to tell themselves that they're going to generate 5 or 10 ideas that are only mediocre. So if you feel that your desire for a perfect topic is holding you back, try lowering the threshold just a little bit and allowing yourself to consider ideas that only seem mediocre at first. At the very least, that should be enough to get the creative juices flowing again. And the best part is that ideas that seem only mediocre at first can often turn into incredible ideas if you're able to take a little bit of time to work with them and develop them more. Strategy 3. Free write. The premise here is simple. You set a timer for 10 minutes and write until the time runs out.
How am I supposed to do that? The whole problem is that I don't know what to write.
Just write whatever pops into your head. And if nothing pops into your head, just write random nonsense. You don't need to worry about grammar or even about making sense. The important thing is that you don't stop writing no matter what. And no deleting either. There's only one direction, forward, and one speed. Full speed. Now, if you can force yourself to do this, most of what you write will be complete trash. But you may be surprised that when you look back, you'll find a few ideas that are actually worth exploring. And those ideas could be the seeds of the essay that you eventually end up writing. Again, the point is just to get your creative juices flowing and help you overcome your writer's block. Strategy 4. Read successful essays. The internet is full of examples of successful college application essays, and if you read enough of them, you may find the inspiration for your own essay. To be honest, I'm a little uncomfortable about including this strategy here, because it's not my personal favorite, but it's probably the most popular strategy out there, so I figured I had to put it on the list. And it can be effective, at least for some students. Just be careful, and don't assume that you should model your essay after another essay just because it worked for somebody else in the past. As I've said on this channel before, an essay is like a well-tailored suit. Something that looks great on somebody else might not be the best fit for you. Nevertheless, if you look over enough essays, you may find some that do seem like a good fit for you. And then you can work on adapting them to the specifics of your own situation and your original voice as a writer. Strategy 5. the fresh connections method. As I mentioned before, this one is probably my favorite method. It's a little bit complicated, but I've seen it produce incredible results. Here's how it works. To start, make a list of 10 or 15 hobbies, interests, experiences, or other things that you think represent an important part of who you are. It may help to break that list into subcategories, as the student has done in this example. But don't feel like you have to do that if that's not comfortable for you. And don't worry too much about what you put on this list, because what you put on it is not the important part. The important part is what you do with it. So after you've made your list, pick 2 or more items, ideally from different sections of the list, and try to establish a link between them. The idea is that even if no single item on your list would make a good topic, combining 2 or more items in a surprising way might. For instance, suppose that our hypothetical student decides to combine her interests in chemistry and cooking. At first they may seem unrelated, but when you think about it closer, there are some interesting connections to be explored. After all, combining different chemical compounds in a lab and watching them react to the heat of a Bunsen burner isn't all that different than combining different ingredients in a kitchen and watching them react to the heat of an oven. Cooking is essentially edible chemistry, and both cooking and chemistry require an attention to detail and the ability to carefully and precisely follow instructions, whether those instructions come in the form of a lab manual or a recipe. Therefore, our student could easily write a compelling essay exploring the role of these 2 interests in her life and the connections between them. Or suppose the student picks her interest in hip-hop, her parents' divorce, and her part-time job at a convenience store. Again, these topics may appear to have little in common, but maybe the connection could be how writing hip-hop lyrics has served as a kind of therapy that's helped the student get through difficult times in her life. When her parents were going through a divorce, for instance, they enabled her to express feelings that were otherwise difficult to articulate. And during her long and extremely boring shifts as a cashier at a convenience store, she's able to maintain her sanity by making up lyrics in her head. Now that's starting to sound like a memorable essay. Again, the benefit of this approach is that it gives you the flexibility to write about several areas of your life. And by combining them in a surprising way, you're also going to end up with a topic that's fresh and original. It's a situation where the whole ends up being a lot better than the sum of its parts. So there you have it. 5 simple strategies that you can use to overcome your writer's block and come up with a perfect topic, one that's going to get you into the college of your dreams. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to check out my other videos on the college application process. But before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, if you feel like it, leave a comment letting me know what you've decided to write your own essays about. Thanks as always for watching, and good luck!